YouTubers, and welcome to probably the final video of this year. Well, even more so, the final video of this decade. And, well, we're going to end it in a fairly normal manner. I'm just going to show you the last record purchases of this year, and also the last record purchases of this decade. I didn't buy any records when I was away during up north for Christmas, but when I got back home I thought, oh, I haven't really treated myself buying any new vinyl for quite a while, and I'm in such a big lack of vinyl records. I don't have any vinyl records anywhere. I need it. Okay, enough of that. So I went to one of my favorite places in Stockholm city and bought a nice little varied pile. I'm going to show you now. First of all, the only new record that I bought, or new, it's a reissue, but it's with one of my favorite artists, and I've shown her many times here. It's a legendary Brazilian singer, Elis Regina. This is Samba Eu Canto Assim. Sorry about my horrible Portuguese. This is a reissue by Soul Jazz Records from 2012 of the album that she recorded in 1965. So it's a fairly early one. I think she started making albums in 62, 63 something. And the old originals are, of course, very difficult to get hold of. Well, might even say impossible to get hold of. So I like these. These are well-made reissues in thick vinyl and a thick cardboard sleeve. Very well made pressings. I've bought similar made by Soul Jazz Records before. Sorry. And I've yet to become disappointed. So, Elis Regina for the win. Got quite a lot of Brazilian stuff now. Okay, over to compilation album, a double album called I'm a Good Woman, Funk Classics from Sassy Soul Sisters. Looks like this, orange and nice. This is from 2002, so it is actually a bit rare to find nowadays, because this was before the big vinyl return. Well, what do we have here? Lots of famous names like Gladys Knight and the Pips, Chaka Khan, Betty Davis, Marva Whitney, the Pointer Sisters, but also some names that I'm not that familiar with, like Jenny D with Two Heads Are Better Than One, Anna King, Mama's Got a Bag of Her Own. It seems like, well, there's some sort of answer record to Papa's Got a brand new bag, I guess. Denise Kiebel is another name that I'm not that familiar with. Looks very nice. Alas, I'm not sure if it's a bad pressing or if it has been played on a bad turntable, maybe one of these Crossley horrible monsters. But the sound, especially the distortion in the tracks closer to the label, are a bit bad. So I mean, good tracks and a nice compilation. I just wish that it had a bit of a better sound. Okay, over to an album that has a glorious sound, and this is actually a reissue of the album Nothing But A Heartache. But it was from 1969, but it was reissued in 1972, I think, as The World of Flirtations of the Durham label. This reissue has the light blue and silver Durham label. What a lovely sleeve, lovely girls, and I'm very fond of the Flirtations. They are one of many great girl groups of the late 60s, early 70s. And I'm also very fond of the Durham label. I mean, Durham and Girl Soul, well, if you combine those two things, you end up with the Flirtations. And I've listened to this, and it's really great. And I haven't got that many albums with the Flirtations, so there's still plenty of room to find more. And I don't really care that this is a reissue. If I find the original, I'll probably try to get hold of that as well. But it's a great reissue with a great sleeve. In the series The Word Of, the Decca label had this big series of reissues in the late 60s, early 70s on the label The Word Of, like we have there The Word Of Val Doonigan, The Word Of Julie Felix, The Word Of Blues Powers, The Word Of Lulu, The Word Of Marion Faithfull, The Word Of Tommy Steele, The Word Of Eamon Corner, The Word Of Progressive Music, something for everyone. The Word Of British Comedy, The Word Of Rock and Roll, The Word Of John Mayall. I think The Word Of David Bowie was reissued on one of these record store day events lately. I'm not sure if that many of these budget The Word Of albums have been reissued since then. The Word Of Tijuana, The Word Of Dudley Moore, The Word of Benny Hill, The Word Of Hard Rock, The Word Of Contemporary Rock, and yeah, The Word Of Kenneth Williams. Oh, matron. Yeah, I'd like to have that actually. All right, enough of that. In the 80s, there were quite a lot of Patti LaBelle being played on the radio, and I was never really a fan. I thought it was a bit too soft for my taste, and also the 80s and soul or pop or soulish soul-like pop. It was a bit too sugary. Then I got hold of LaBelle, I mean the group, the three-girl group, together with Nona Hendrix, and the third one who's so good-looking but whose name I can never remember. Sorry about that. And my view on LaBelle changed, and I have been buying the LaBelle albums, especially the early ones. But of course, Patti LaBelle had a career before LaBelle. She had Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, in which Nona Hendrix was also a member. And I managed to get hold of two of their albums, on the Atlantic label. First we have Over the Rainbow from 1966, nothing else. Very nice. And then we have Dreamer from 1967. That's Nona Hendrix, a young Nona Hendrix. I mean, my view has really changed lately. I've become more and more fans of Patti LaBelle and her buddies. And was very happy to find these early ones. They have a original inner sleeve and also an extra sleeve and it has the blue, white, and green Atlantic label, stereo label of the time, and that's of course very nice. American originals. Okay. Then over to a singer that may not be as famous as Patti LaBelle. It's Selena Jones and her album Platinum from 1971. It's a UK pressing on CBS. I think she's still active, but more in the jazz field. I've heard a bit of her and I like her voice. I particularly like the songs chosen for this album, like The Letter, Your Song, Knock on Wood, Long and Winding Road, Fire and Rain. Light My Fire. Almost all the songs are more or less famous. and her takes on them are very nice, I think. Happy to find this. Selena Jones Platinum from 1971 on the orange CBS label. Okie dokie. 3 more records to show and one with music, and we're going to our neighboring country, Norway, and the very popular singer Wenche Myhre, singer, artist, comedian, and a source of energy in Norwegian entertainment in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and she became very popular in the late 60s in Sweden, especially when she started collaborating with the Swedish entertainment legend Povel Ramel. And this is an album from 1969, and it is with it's for the Swedish market because she sings songs in Swedish, not in Norwegian. And she's still around, and I think she's still pretty active and still looks more or less as happy as she did back then. Wenche Myhre. Sorry. Okay. The 2 final ones that I bought, they have nothing in common with the other records. Nothing at all. Nothing as far as I can even imagine. Well, I'm talking about Groucho Marx of the Marx Brothers. There's been some albums issued with lots of different material that he's been doing during the years, and I found 2 of the radio albums. First of all, we have on the Radiola label, Groucho on Radio. Yeah, I think it's a Canadian issue, and we have first Greetings from Groucho, heard on the KFI 50th anniversary show, April 16, 1972. Then we have a sketch from 1938, Hollywood Agents with Groucho, Chico and others. Doctor people are double and take it truth or ignorance. It pays to be information, heard on Command Performance during the war. And the B-side is an episode of the radio show You Bet Your Life. This is Plebo, with a bit of a joke version together with Tallulah Bankhead, Fanny Bryce, Jane Powell, Meredith Wilson and others. I've heard that before. I think the original real You Bet Your Life shows with ordinary people are much more interesting, but still, anyway. And speaking about that, the other album is on the Nostalgia Lane Records, and it's called Original Radio Broadcast, Groucho. Special guest star Ernie Kovacs, the great American comedian who died very early. And we have 2 episodes of You Bet Your Life, one from March 31, 1958, and one from May 12, 1958. I think this is probably the 3rd album with material from that show. I've had some CDs as well that has been issued in the 90s. But it was very good when he spoke to normal people. I mean, the actual competition wasn't that interesting, really. But it was more the interaction between Groucho and the people he invited to the show, the normal people. Some of them were fairly normal, and then Groucho could clown around, and some of them were a bit more eccentric, and then Groucho could play the straight man, if you can imagine him doing that. So I haven't listened to these yet, but I will do that soon, very soon indeed. And I thought there was going to be a short video, but I've already talked for 15 minutes almost. So I'm going to shut up now and wish you all Happy New Year, Happy 2020, 2020. Where did this decade go? Gone. Yeah. Anyway, Thank you for watching. Happy New Year, and see you soon again. Bye bye.